Now let's take a look at resizing an image for print specifically. First thing you're going to want to do is open an image. I'm going to reopen the In the Wind image again. And the thing to remember is that today's modern cameras have such a large image file that provides such detail. And it's important that when you're resizing your image, you don't lose that image quality in the process. So be sure to remember to uncheck that image resampling box when you're resizing your image to make sure that you don't have a negative effect on the resizing process. So what you're going to need to do is you are going to open the image lower third boat. So go File, Browse and Bridge, open the image lower third boat, and follow the directions on prepping an image for print found on the top of page 262. Now it's going to be important to note that you're not going to see a whole lot of difference in the image whether you're at 72 or 300 ppi or dpi. That's again because your monitor cannot show you those resolution differences. Okay? As long as you're sure that you turn off the resampling checkbox, then you can continue to resize your image without losing quality. Now you are going to be altering your image's size. You're just not going to be altering the image quality. When you're through with the lower third boat resize, you're going to need to go File, Save As, and that is going to be 6F, your last name, _ lower third boat. And you're going to select Photoshop, make sure you're in your Chapter 6 folder, and click Save. Once again, you'll find those directions on page 262. Now, when resizing an image for email and the web, you're going to be at a lower resolution because you don't need all that size eating up your space on your server when you can't even see it online. So go to File, Browse and Bridge, and you're going to open the sunflower JPEG image. And with this image open, you're going to follow the directions on page 263. And you'll be saving this as a PSD file, and this is going to be 6G. So you're going to go make the image size changes on page 263 and 264. And then you're going to save it as 6G. And so before you get started, you're going to want to go ahead and rename this file and save it. So go File, Save As, and type in 6G and your last name _ sunflower. Make sure it's in the Chapter 6 folder and click Save. And then when you go into your Save for the Web, it will already be renamed and in the folder you want it in. Now, when you're saving things for the web and for email, there's a specific window for that. So you go to Image, and so you go to File, Save for Web, and this window appears. Now, Optimized is going to show you just the one view. You can select 2-up view, and you can select 4-up view. I recommend working in the 4-up view because it's going to give you a better opportunity to see exactly what it is you're working with. Now we're zoomed in at 100% here, and you can see some of the image quality issues, especially in this GIF in the lower right hand corner. But let's go ahead and zoom out a little bit so we can see our sunflower a little bit more. And I'm going to take it down to 33% and bring my sunflower over. You can see a much cleaner, sharper image up here at the top, and then it starts to go down in quality on these other windows. You can select a specific preset up here in the upper right hand corner. You select the type of image that you want to deal with here in the drop down box. What type of algorithm you would like Photoshop to use in color reduction, because again, GIF files, PNG files, JPEGs, they all have different color viewing abilities. You can have transparency or not. That works depending on the type of image you have selected. If I select JPEG, I don't get that transparency option. So as you go through and you select the different types of files, your menu options are going to change here on this window. And so to save for the web, follow the directions on page 263 and 264. You're going to save that as 6G, your last name, _ sunflower. And this is going to be a JPEG. And so you'll just click the save button here after you followed all those directions. There can also be a time when you need to resize an image that you've downloaded from the internet and you need to be able to print it. And you're going to open corduroy JPEG. Now when you have that image open, you're going to follow the directions on page 265. Now make sure that you save this image as a PSD, as a Photoshop file. And this is going to be 6H. So you'll name it 6H, your last name, _ corduroy, as a PSD file. It is not ideal to save images from the web and upsize them for print, but sometimes you have no options, and so going through these steps will help you to be able to understand exactly how to do that. It's pretty simple. Alright, now the other thing I want to discuss is resizing images for presentations. A lot of times you're having to do a presentation for a class or maybe for your employer. It's important that you resize the images down to an acceptable size so it doesn't slow your presentation down. And so you'll want to probably size an image at 72 dpi, because again, screens, projectors, TVs will be able to view those images at a high quality, and it won't bog down your presentation with oversized images. And best practices for that is to do that resizing of your images before you put them into the presentation software. Whether you're using Keynote or PowerPoint, Prezi, it doesn't matter. A lower image resolution will help to speed that process up for you. And that's it on resizing. The book has a lot more in-depth and advanced information that is available to you, and you'll cover that in your Digital Imaging 2 class. However, for now, next we'll be looking at transforming and rotating your images.